Good evening, everyone. I would like to welcome Dr. Atul Jaggi and Dr. Latika Jaggi. Dr. Jaggi, most welcome to you. Can you please take over now?
Thank you, Dimple. Good evening to everyone. Very quickly, we give you one case, acute hepatitis of a male 29 years. Now, before we go further, we want to tell you that most of our acute cases, as you will understand, they have to be solved over the phone. A patient with high fever, severe pain can come to your chamber at the most once. If you don't find the remedy the first time, they cannot come and come again and again. So Professor Vitulkas teaches materia medica in such a way that you can treat the acute cases over the phone, even very high fevers of 40 degrees Celsius. So the first consultation on the phone was 5th November 2017. The patient had fever since few days. 4 days ago, he had very high fever. He had taken in the last 3 days antibiotics and antipyretics. So what they did, since yesterday the fever is no longer there. It went away. Where did it go? Let us see. Where did the fever go? Was it cured? Was it suppressed? Is what we have to see. And since then, there is a new symptom, vomiting, underlined 3 times. Very persistent vomiting, is not able to retain any food in the stomach. Very thirsty for cold drinks, underlined 3 times. The peculiarity was that the stomach was retaining liquids. He was drinking water, good amount, that was retained, but all the solid food was being vomited. Weakness, underlined 2 times. He says, I want to stay alone, but is still obliging everybody by helping out in their work. So, can they tell us this was the acute symptomatology? Which remedy would they like to prescribe?
This person said pulsatilla even before the symptomatology came on, but then she changed it to arsenicum. She or he changed it to arsenicum album.
Yes,
Somebody else has said phosphoric acid.
phosphoric acid. Phosphoric acid will, and even arsenicum album will have weakness underlined 3 or 4 times.
Somebody said phosphorus.
Correct? Because of the thirst for cold
Cold
drinks
drinks.
and vomiting. Very correctly said. But a phosphorus will desire company. Here the patient says, I want to stay alone. Can we combine this?
Do we have a suggestion?
I prescribed because of strong thirst and the desire to stay alone.
Bryonia.
Bryonia. This is what I prescribed. I prescribed Bryonia 200, and I want to show them a rubric which is very peculiar, that the patient vomits solid food, which has only 3 remedies: Bryonia, Cuprum, and Veratrum. So I was aware of this symptomatology, and because of the thirst, strong thirst, I prescribed Bryonia. Let us see what it did. One day after Bryonia, vomiting still continues, no change. Same while eating vomits, still thirsty for cold drinks. Now the weakness has increased from 2 times to 3 times, underlined. Now the person tells his urine is yellow, offensive, and slightly bloody.
Now
What
what
would they
should we do?
like to? Yes. So as somebody suggested, Bryonia did not work and somebody suggested phosphorus. I decided to give phosphorus because there was blood there and the thirst. I gave phosphorus. Now let us see what phosphorus did. One day after phosphorus, vomiting is better. Still vomits, but less than before. You see, the most dangerous symptom was vomiting, which has been touched by phosphorus. Appetite is better. Eating more and is able to retain food now. Still thirsty for cold drinks. This has not changed. Weakness still strong, not changed. Urine still yellow, offensive and bloody. What do we do here?
Somebody has asked if this is an aggravation before you prescribe the phosphorus, but I believe it all stayed the same. It didn't aggravate as
Yes,
such
it didn't aggravate. Bryonia did not help.
at all. And so the
Yes, it did
phosphorus
not
was
help at all.
prescribed.
That is
Can
why
somebody
phosphorus.
say what the next prescription should be?
What the next? Yes, the question is, what do we do now? Seeing this follow up, the vomiting is better, the appetite
Wait,
is better. Somebody
wait.
says, wait, this is
Yes,
the correct way of thinking. If the most dangerous symptom has stopped and the appetite is better and we are treating hepatitis, the weakness will not get better so fast. So I decided to wait.
perfect.
Prescribe placebo.
Placebo.
2 days after phosphorus, the vomiting, which was very frequent, still continues but once a day. Still thirsty for cold drinks. Weakness, no change at all. Urine still yellow, offensive and bloody. We talked to him on the WhatsApp call, a video call, and he was feeling okay. Now people who know about India, he was living in Bombay, Mumbai, and his parents were in Delhi, and he is working to get some money in Bombay. So he was feeling lonely and missing his parents who live in Delhi, New Delhi. And he started crying on the video call. And then he gave us this symptom that I am feeling burden of my sickness because I have to take off from my work, and how will I then send money to my parents? Because he is supporting his parents, and this was killing him, that because he has to take an off, his salary would be deducted, and how will he send money to the parents? In the video call, his lips we saw were very dry and he was licking them frequently. And he gave us one more symptom, that he feels nauseous if somebody in the house is frying something. So, what do we do?
Somebody says we should prescribe pulsatilla.
Pulsatilla, because of the weeping. Okay, I prescribe pulsatilla and see what happens. You see, I am sharing all my prescriptions. Some of them are correct, some of them are mistakes, some of them are similar remedies, but you will see what happens, because this is how we can learn. One day after pulsatilla, vomiting once a day still continues, no change. Weakness is 4 plus now. Cannot even sit for more than 5 minutes, must lie down. Weakness from even talking. Still thirsty for cold drinks. Since 2 days, he says, I desire for yogurt and refreshing things. Urine is more yellow now. The jaundice has increased. Still offensive and bloody. Appetite is improving, he says. This is very strange. Slight fever has come up, 38.2 Celsius. Still, this feeling is still strong, that he is feeling the burden of financial liability because he has to abstain from his job. Conjunctiva getting yellow, as I said, the jaundice is increasing. So I was feeling helpless, honestly, and very disappointed what to do. So in such a case, if the acute symptomatology is not pointing to a remedy, I thought of taking his case. I took his chronic symptoms. There was evident grief. His wife had left him 1 year ago and she has filed for a divorce, which he does not want to give. So there is a grief there. Another strong physical journal. He wants to uncover his feet since few years. So now I put the case in this structure: physical pathology, which we discussed, his physical generals, then his mental generals, that he is very duty bound. Now you see the chronic symptom, uncovered feet, and the grief as a causation. Now, fortunately, we found the correct remedy. Can they tell us?
What will be the remedy now? Natrum sulf,
Natrum sulf, yes.
sulfur,
Sulfur. Now they should think of phosphoric acid, because there is strong weakness and desire for
uncovered
refreshing
feet,
things.
and even the uncovering of the feet.
Yes. Any other answers? Can they tell me what is behind the red box? That's a question. I thought of a remedy. We put this question to our patient and he confirmed it to confirm the remedy. The hint is that it's a question, it's a mental question. Homesickness, somebody says,
Yes.
because of phosphoric acid. Homesickness, we find it strongly in carboanimelis, capsicum, and phosphoric acid. And we find it here also. But there is something more, duty bound, which
Fears,
fears,
grief,
yes. What else?
grief.
Grief is there, definitely. Grief is there. How would you confirm the remedies which you are thinking on the mental level? Somebody suggested because of phosphoric acid they want to ask for homesickness. I was thinking of natrum sulf, as somebody suggested. Why? Because we see liver affected, we have jaundice, because we see duty bound, uncovering of feet, and because of one more change. Who can tell us?
Cheerful after stools.
Cheerful after stools is a question, absolutely correct. But why should we think of natrum sulf to put these questions? Cheerful after stool is a keynote of natrum sulf, Calcarea carbonica. But why should we think of natrum sulf? They are giving the
Suicidal
question.
thoughts.
Yes, no. But they are giving me the answer to the red box. But why should we put these questions? There is something in the structure, in the columns.
Atul, I don't think they're getting your question.
Okay, no problem. I want to say that there was a new change in the patient, the desire for yogurt, which came after a remedy. Now, this change is very important. We have to look into the repertories and see which remedies desire yogurt. Let us see. Desire yogurt. So let us see. We find Rustox, natrum sulf, elapse, and cocculus. And out of
Natrum
this
sulf.
is the
There you
remedy
go.
which affects the liver, which uncovers feet, which is sensitive. So this thought came of natrum sulf, and we asked the question: suicidal desires but restraints due to responsibility towards parents. So this is a keynote of natrum sulf, and we prescribed natrum sulf 200. We prescribed on 10th November his liver function test. On 12th November, if you see, the bilirubin was still high, 8.2. Direct, indirect, you can see. Look at the transaminases. SGOT is 191. So his liver was greatly affected. After natrum sulf, vomiting completely stopped. Weakness is better than before. Appetite is better. Urine less yellow. And this is another keynote. I want them to look in the repertorization. Thirsty for cold drinks is 3 plus for natrum sulf. We don't
Yes.
have the time to show that. So we gave Saclac. 4 days after natrum sulf, weakness is much better. Appetite is much better. No suicidal thoughts. The fever returned, which is a good sign. 38.3 fever increased, which was suppressed. Okay. So we waited Saclac 6 days after natrum sulf. Energy much better. Appetite very good. Needs food every hour. And the fever subsided on its own. Urine is also less yellow. Now, just to show you the reports, on 16th November, the bilirubin came down to 3.84 from 8. Direct also reduced. and the SGOT also reduced. I will compare both the reports for you. Look at this, how it was on 12th is on the left side, and on the right side you can see how is it on 16th. It is reducing. The SGOT reduced from 191 to 121. Okay. And even the alkaline phosphatase has reduced. We go further. The patient is on placebo 10 days after natrum sulf. Energy is very good, no fever, appetite very good, no pain in the abdomen, emotionally much better, no suicidal thoughts. Okay, so we advised him to get a liver function test done again, which shows a peculiar phenomena. This we will discuss the next time. What we saw, the bilirubin reduced further, the SGOT almost normal, but look at SGPT now. It increased phenomenally. I was shocked. What has happened? Why everything else is normal? Why SGPT increased? I told him, you better get it checked from another laboratory. He went to another lab. This is the comparison to show you how you see from SGOT has become normal from 121 to 46. Bilirubin has reduced, but look at SGPT 47 to 138. I was shocked. He went to another lab, different lab. The SGPT came out even higher, 151. But Professor Vithulkas teaches us that if the person is better, don't worry, the reports will normalize on their own. So we prescribed placebo, and on its own, look at the bilirubin came down further, and even the SGPT started reducing on its own. Just to show you the comparison, from 22nd November and 1st December, the bilirubin has reduced, the SGOT has reduced, and even the SGPT has reduced, and alkaline phosphatase too. So sometimes during improvement, the reports may go haywire, but don't panic. If the person is better, keep on giving placebo. Now, important observations in this case, suppressing the fever by antibiotics brings out a severe acute pathology. You see what was happening? His liver was already weak because of the grief. He was already in a natrum sulf state, and suppressing it by antibiotics brought the hepatitis out. Now, this we discussed that the patient is better generally. The reports may show a different trend for some time, and the blood reports may take some time to stabilize. Don't worry, don't prescribe. Okay, now this is interesting. Natrum sulf will not only cure the acute hepatitis but will also help the patient deeply. So, what is important? After natrum sulf, he not only suicide got better, he even left the job in Mumbai and he came back to Delhi, showing that his duty consciousness, the pathology, even got better. So that's about it.